What is going on, everybody? Shane and Jocelyn Sams here from flippedlifestyle.com and the Flipped Lifestyle Podcast.
Welcome
Super,
to the member
super
call.
excited to be doing our second member call of July. Got a lot of great questions already. This is your first member call. Welcome. You can ask questions in the chat room inside of the Flip Your Life community. If you just go to the general forum, if you're listening to this right now, you can click on the member call link. It will take you to a post where we have published the video, audio, and the chat box, the live chat for this, so that you can ask your questions about online business, anything else you need help with today. We are here to serve you and help you do that. And I mean, the questions are really high quality today. I've already read through some of them, and we're going to be talking about some deep issues. There's going to not be a lot of sugarcoating today, and it's going to be really, really awesome. Couple announcements, real quick. Once again, we have like 5 tickets left for Flip Your Life Live Nashville. So if you would like to and see me and Jocelyn in Nashville and hang out with over 100 members of the Flip Your Life community from all over the world, we have people from dozens of states. We've got people coming everywhere, Canada, all over the place. It's going to be an amazing event. Jocelyn and I just last week went to Nashville and stayed at the hotel again. Got to do a tasting of all the great food. We're going to be eating lunch together, eating dinner together, and just hanging out together and working on our online businesses. It's going to be a really good time.
And if you're not sure, come for the food because it was really, really
The
good.
food is
So,
well worth the price of admission for sure. So you can go to fliplifestyle.com/Nashville. We've only got a few tickets left, and that is going to sell out between now and September 21st, or is it the 20th? When does it start? What is the actual date that it starts?
so we get there on the 19th
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it goes till the 21st.
So it's going to be a great time. Nashville is a good drive, easy drive from anywhere on this side of the country, and an easy flight from almost any airport in the United States, especially. So if you want to come, we would love to have you there. It's going to be awesome. The content is going to be world class. It is a no fluff event. You are going to take massive action over the 48 hours that we're together, working together. We're gonna get it done. So it's not just going to be come and listen to people talk. It's going to be come, listen. You're going to get to ask me and Jocelyn questions live in the room. We're going to all be hanging out together at meals. We're going to have a pre-party, and there's just going to be a lot of great opportunities to take your business to the next level. Live events are magnifiers. Magnifiers. If you want to magnify everything you're doing, Flip Your Life Live is a great investment for you.
So Allison says 51 days indeed. So fliplifestyle.com/Nashville. We want to see you there. We are going to be closing the ticket sales very, very soon
Very
because
soon.
we need to have an exact number of who all is coming.
Got to order stuff
We're
too.
super excited. We're working on all the stuff. We've actually already started. Shane has been doing live, like Facebook Lives,
Yep.
starting some of the training so that you can come into the event having all of the prerequisites done. You're ready to go, ready to hit the ground running.
We actually have one tonight at 9 p.m. for Flip Your Life live attendees, where we're going to be breaking down Avatar. I've got 2 other videos in the exclusive private Facebook group for Nashville attendees, some additional training on ideas and offers. And so it's going to be a good time. And we're getting ready to start our icebreaker calls next month, which is going to be pretty amazing and fun. So you really want to be a part of that. We want you to be a part of Nashville. We will see you there. But today, you are a part of the Q&A with S&J for July. So Jocelyn, let's go ahead and jump into our first question. And we may cough a little bit on this call because we've had a cough run through our house for the last like week.
But we're
So
not going to let
we're
that
not going to
stop
let it slow
us.
us down. We're not going to let it stop us. We might cough on you a little bit, but you can't catch it over the microphone. So it's okay.
All right. All right. Our first question today is from Andrew. He says, I don't have a lot of spare cash to invest in getting traffic for my up and coming business. I would be lucky to have about $150 spare per week, and that doesn't buy you many ads these days. So, how does a person get to market their business? Or how does a person get their business to market without spending $20,000 a month on ads? And the second part of the question is why do all the people who have become successful not teach these ways? They all seem to I'm sorry, all they seem to focus on is paid traffic. I'm happy to invest, but I need my business to have clients before I can invest large amounts of cash in paid traffic.
Well, this is a really good question. I want to say this right now, like, and I know you were using some hyperbole there, but Jocelyn and I have never spent $20,000 on ads. Like, that's not what we've done, and we're very open with how we built our business. We tell everyone that there's only two ways to grow a business. You can roll up your sleeves, or you can open your wallet. And you know, to say you only have 150 bucks, I'm sure that's true. This, that, and the other. But when we go back and talk about how we grew our online business, well, we sold everything we owned to invest in our business. We sold our house. We sold every possession that wasn't nailed down. We thought about renting out our kids on the weekend. I mean, we did everything possible to find money, and that included letting go of some things that we didn't want to let go of. I always tell this story of we needed $100 to pay for something early in our business. And I had this book by an author. It was my favorite author, my favorite series of books. I had went to meet him and got his autograph, and he was dead. So there was literally no way to replace this item in my possession. And I sold that on eBay for $100 so I could buy ads, so I could buy hosting, so I could buy something that month for our online business. So you don't have to invest things, but the reason why a lot of gurus won't talk about the other part is because it's not as sexy. It's not as awesome. It's not as, oh, if you just wave your magic wand and buy some ads, everything will work out. Look how I do it. But what you don't see is the dozens and dozens of sleepless nights and hours of hard work and the commitment and the dedication for 2 straight years to create content and create enough content to start getting noticed prolifically and consistently. And those are just not as fun, sexy topics. They don't sell as many courses. And that's why a lot of people don't talk about that stuff. But it takes mountains of hard work if you don't have any money to promote your business. You're going to have to go out and create a blog post every single day for the next year. Someone's going to notice your business. You're going to show up in some search results. Go meet people at live events. Maybe that's the best use of your money, is to save up and go to a live event so you can network with people. Okay. Maybe you go to something in your space. You don't have to come to our event, but you're going to have to,
But you should.
but you should, but you're going to have to go out and put the work in and put the effort in. If you don't have money, then all you've got is time, which means to get more time, you have to sacrifice other things in your life. You don't get to have fun for the first year or two of your business. You don't get to go out with your friends. You don't get to spend time with your family. You don't get to do those things. In the first 13 months of our business, Jocelyn and I removed ourselves from so many social circles, even like at church, with our family, with our friends, that people were asking us, like, what is going on? Why won't you hang out with us? Why won't you talk to us? And it's because we didn't have money. We had to why are you selling everything? Why are you having a yard sale every week? Why is everything you own on Facebook or on eBay? Why are you selling your house? This makes no sense. Are you guys in financial trouble? Why won't you hang out with me anymore? Like, those are the things you have to do in the first year or two of your business to even have a chance. And here's another myth that I'd love to address right now. Guys, just because you work hard does not mean you will make it. You can say, "Well, I put in all the work and I put in all the effort and I just didn't make it." That can happen. You have to take risks to get your market out, to get to market, to get your business out there. You've got to sacrifice to get your stuff out there. You've got to put in more time than you're putting in now. Everybody. I don't care if you think you're putting in all the time you can. There's somewhere else where there's another hour. And if you don't have the money to buy ads to make it grow faster, to get that first customer or two, then you're going to have to do something more drastic that may be more uncomfortable than spending a few dollars.
And I just wanted to say, as far as like other people promoting ads, that is the sexy sell. That's the easy button. People don't want to hear about the hard work. They don't want to hear about sacrifices that you have to give up in order to get what you want. They want to hear, oh, here's this magic formula, and in 3 easy steps, I made millions of dollars. Well, there's a lot
That's not
more
true.
behind that, like part of it's probably true,
Yeah.
but then there's a lot of things that they leave out in the middle. So, that's what we try to not do. We want to let you guys know that yes, it's amazing, but there's also a lot of hard work involved to get there.
Yeah, and like it's always you see the result, Like you can see where people end up, but you don't see kind of how they got there. And like also too in our, we do 4 podcasts a week. We do YouTube videos. We do these Q&A calls. We're in the forums. Like no matter how much we tell you what we've done, we can still only show you the best practices and the best possible things and highlight the big picture stuff. But you still don't see the, hey, I stayed up for 4 hours creating that first product when I had work the next day. You don't see, man, I didn't have a TV anymore because we sold every TV in our house but one. Our kids, when we were growing this business, this is no lie, in our living room, they used, remember those old 13-inch TVs that had a VCR like tape deck in it? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like it was like those little, they look like little boxes, and that's like a little kid's
I
TV.
had it in my dorm room.
She had, yeah, Jocelyn had a TV in her dorm room.
So this tells you how long ago
Yeah,
it
and like
was.
and like so we in our living room, our main living room in our house, in our entertainment center, we know with the big box, we had this little 13-inch TV, and that's what our kids watched. And they were watching VCR tapes that we checked out at the library for the first year or two of growing our business because we got rid of everything else and we weren't going to go buy expensive things because we needed that money and we needed to invest in our business. So, it's funny. Like people see now, like Isaac had a little boy stay all night with us this weekend, and we have a 72-inch TV in our living room now, and he was like, "That's the biggest TV I've ever seen." Me remember, but you didn't see the 13-inch TV with the VCR tape deck that we watched for 2 years while we built the business, right? So that's why people don't show that, because what looks better in my Facebook feed when I show the 72-inch TV or when I show the 13-inch TV? But you can go back and look at our podcast, and we've got pictures of the 13-inch TV, and we've got pictures of the
Our duct
Nissan
tape
that
car.
had duct tape holding the bumper on because we didn't want to buy a car because we needed more money, right? And it's maybe our business doesn't grow as fast because of it, but we're just trying to keep it real. So the moral of the story is this: rich people, successful people, and wealthy people don't say, I can't afford something. They say, how can I afford it? Rich people, successful people, and wealthy people never say, I don't have time to do something. They say, what can I give up so that I can find time to do something? And I'm not going to give you any magic push button solutions here besides roll up your sleeves, sell stuff, and open your wallet and figure out how you can make the time and how you can afford it in your life, even if that means giving up a whole lot of stuff in the short term, because we did it. And I never feel bad about telling someone that because we put in the work, we put in the time, and it paid off. And you've got to do the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, and I just want to say, we're not picking on Andrew here. Like, this is a mindset thing for a lot of people. They say, well, this person is telling me this, and another person is telling me this, and I don't know what to believe. So, well, I guess I just won't work on this
But the
anymore.
moral of the story is there comes a point where people hear all these things in all these ways and they see all these things, and it's uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable to think, I've only got 150 bucks. Man, if I go out and find 200, that's going to really stretch me. Or, man, I'm spending an hour a day on this and I just don't know if I've got time to do it. Well, if I sleep 6 hours instead of 8, that's going to suck for the next year. But you know what? That's just the truth, guys. That's just what it takes. It takes sacrifice, it takes risk, and it takes a lot of hard work. And that never goes away. But if you want what's on the other side of that, you got to find a way to make it
And
happen.
you do, or you wouldn't be here. So, find a way to make it work.
Find a way to make it work. Find a way. No
All
magic
right.
formulas here. Just roll up your sleeves. Okay.
All right. Carla says, we are thinking we are going to try a 7-day challenge concerning finding the motivation to get fit, helping people discover a sustainable why. We are wondering if it matters if we do this as a pre sale with a start date for everyone or give them instant access. Is one way typically more effective than the other?
You need a start date to point toward.
Usually on a challenge, I like to have a start date.
Yeah, and you also need a close date of when you can register for the challenge, which naturally is usually the day before, but you can even do it like sign up now. I'm going to send you something cool as a bonus, and then we start a week from now or
Because
something like that.
ideally, you want people going through the challenge at the same time. Like, assuming that you give them a way to talk to each other, you don't want one person on day 7 and one person on day 1, and they're not going through the same thing. Ideally, on a type of challenge like that, you want to offer it all starting at the same time.
Yeah, so definitely do that. It's not, and if you're going to charge for the challenge, it's not really a pre-sale. You're just selling the challenge, like tell them this is what the challenge is going to look like. And the only thing I didn't like about what you said was it was all about finding your motivation. I'm not sure if that's the right way to word that. It's more because people who want to get healthy and get fit and lose weight are usually pretty motivated. They've just not got to the point where they're going to take action yet. So it's almost like how you can finally take action on getting healthier. You want to say things like you have to plant the seeds in their mind of what they're already thinking. Like you want to get healthy, but you've not been able to do it yet. You want to be fit, you want to be healthy, you want to be happy, but I'm going to show you how to actually move toward the act for that. Okay. So that's exactly where you need to go with this. Don't just be like, hey guys, I might sort of kind of help you get motivated, or you're not motivated because you really like, chips and salsa. So you have to beat chips and salsa with someone who doesn't want to give up chips and salsa, and that's
Yeah, I
probably not going
think
to
you
happen.
just need to you need to, for lack of a better word, sexy up that title a little
Yeah.
bit. You know, I'm just kind of thinking
She's
here.
saying the problem, not the result, is what's
Yeah.
happening here. Like the problem is they're not
St-
taking action on their
so
motivation.
7 days to not losing motivation, something like that.
Or yeah, or take action on losing weight or something like that. Yeah.
Ooh, our dogs are just like
Yeah. Our dogs know
running
how to
through
open
here.
doors,
So
which is pretty amazing, and they just busted into the back. If you're watching this on the video later, you can see that the dogs just like open the doors all by
and they're like
themselves.
running over my microphone cord. So
So hold
there's
on.
that.
All right, let me shut this door before we go to the next question. I locked the top hole.
Okay, so I think we've actually locked them out now. All right. The next question is from Liette. And it says, I have been running Facebook ads since I launched my website, and I've gained 135 followers to my business page in about 9 days. I've had some visits to my website, but I'm not sure where they've come from. According to Facebook, no one has clicked to my website from my Facebook page. Am I focusing on the wrong thing? Should I stop the like ad and switch to an ad directing traffic to my website instead? I've had no opt ins yet, and I'm wondering if growing my Facebook page is an important part of growing my email list.
We're not big on growing our Facebook page, like because it really doesn't do a whole lot for you. I do think in the beginning there is some merit to just getting those first few followers, right? But you need to have a follow up ad now that gets the opt in because if you go into your live training, it'll show you that the first step is getting your message in front of the right audience, which you're doing. Okay, that's awesome way to go investing on yourself and getting some people to pay attention to your Facebook page and the content you're creating. But the second phase is to follow up with those people who now know about you and try to pull them in on an opt in of some kind, right? So, like for us, we have our podcast. We put our podcast out there. We've actually been experimenting with advertising just our podcast episodes and about our podcast, like an awareness campaign. And we're trying to get people to ask. We target podcast listeners. Hey, what's this new podcast I've never listened to before? So they discover us, right? But the goal is to get them from discovery to purchase. So the next step is to follow up with another ad to those same people that says, hey, did you also know that we have this cool thing that I give to you for free and you can go here? That could be a webinar, that could be a lead magnet. I saw a great ad the other day because in Facebook now you can go and click on anyone who has a Facebook page. And on the left hand column, there's a thing that says info and ads. And you can literally go see what anyone is running as an advertisement. Like you go right now, you can go to facebook.com/flip lifestyle. And on the left, you can click on info and ads and you can see ads that we're running right now. Like anybody on Facebook, you can go see that. And I saw this great ad where the person said, I'm every Friday, I send the 5 most important things that I did and that I learned and tools that I found to my email list. So you need to click on hit this link and sign up for my newsletter. And every Friday, you'll get the 5 most important things that I did this week to be successful. And then he has another ad running that's just like, hey, listen to my podcast. So my guess is he's stringing those together and he's going, hey, everybody listen to this. And then he follows up with anybody that actually takes action with a thing to get on his opt-in. And that's what you've got to do too. So you need a second ad now. You need the first ad is a cold ad. You're trying to get people to pay attention to you. Find they like your page. Follow up with those page followers now with an opt-in and see if you can get them to opt in. you can't just get followers and hope they eventually figure out how to opt into your stuff, right? It's one reason that we went to a free trial as an opt in, because our main priority is to get people to follow us, get people to listen to us, and get people to join our membership. So a free trial is a very natural way for people to get into our paid content, because we can't just assume they even know there's a membership, and we can't just assume they even know we've got a lot of great content in there because it's hidden behind a paywall. So we need to let them at it, and now we can run ads to that.
There are a lot of studies and people who have worked on just studying the way that Facebook works. And I'm a big nerd. I like to look into all this stuff. And the thing about paying for likes is that Facebook will spend your money very quickly,
Yeah.
and it may not necessarily be on people who really like your content.
They just may
It's
be
just,
superficially interested enough to
yeah.
like it.
And on Flip Lifestyle's Facebook page, our likes are primarily organic. I won't say none of them come from ads because we have run ads. We don't run like ads.
You get likes from your other ads. That's why we don't really run like campaigns, because if I run an ad to a webinar, people are going to like my page when they sign up for the webinar. So
But as someone who's done only organic strategies for Facebook, I can tell you that your reach will be a lot better to those people if they like your page organically and they're not just superficially liking it to
yeah.
be liking something.
So you might want to spend your money now more on targeting the same audiences that you would have to try to get likes, but maybe do more of an introductory thing like, hey, I've got this great blog post article, right? Or you've got this great podcast, or you've got a great video that you've made on your site, and drive traffic to that. And then make sure that page is optimized to get an opt in. And you're still going to get likes. You're still going to do that. And you haven't wasted your money, because now you've got a few people paying attention. That's great. But really focus your energy. All roads have to lead to the list, and all lists have to lead to a product. And if you just follow those guidelines in your sales funnels, it's all going to work out a whole lot better. Okay.
Somebody's asking the Facebook ad info. What do you click on?
Okay. If you can see my yeah, all you got to do is you go to someone's Facebook page. There's a menu over on the left. All right. And if you scroll down, I think the second to last option says like info and ads. Okay. I'm checking it right now to make sure. And what you can do is you can click on info and ads. Yep, that's what it is. So if you look right on a desktop, I'm not sure where this is on a mobile, but on a desktop on the left, there's a menu. And if you click info and ads, you can literally see all ads that anyone is running at any given time. So you can go to anyone's website. You can go to our Facebook page. This is a transparency thing that Facebook's doing, because of all of the political nonsense and hacking and people manipulating elections and ad people who are scammy and all the people out there doing the Bitcoin stuff and all this crazy stuff that's happened. They're like, fine, if you want to advertise on our platform, you have to be transparent and show everyone your ads. Right now, you can't see my targeting, you can't see proprietary stuff, right? Like why we're doing it or how the ads string together, but you can see the literal ads that we're running right now, and you can see anybody's. You can go to Gary Vaynerchuk's, you can see his. You can go to Tim Ferriss, you can see his. You can go to Russell Brunson's, Pat Flynn's. You can see anybody's ads at any time that has a Facebook page. So, really cool tool. Gives you a lot of great ideas. Another reason there's no excuse to be stuck on ad copy, because you can just hack somebody else's stuff. It's all good. So, all
And
right.
by hack, we do not
I
mean
don't mean
like
hack their stuff. I mean
breaking into it. Okay.
like funnel hacking.
We
Like
do
you can,
not encourage
yeah,
that. Just
you can model.
for the
You
record.
can
Yes.
model other people's stuff with your stuff, and it's all good.
Okay. The next question is from Allison. Allison says, I am. Let me start again
Start
because
again.
we had coughing.
Sorry, coughing fit.
Allison says, I'm working like mad on my course so I can get it done before Nashville. I recorded the audio this morning and I'm going to create the slides later today and tomorrow. What is the best way to put the two together? Should I use something like Screencast-O-Matic or Loom or Camtasia?
Yeah, just do that. Don't overcomplicate this. Like I've done slide decks in two ways. The first way I've done it is to make a slide deck, literally hit Camtasia and just record the screen and talk through it, and then go edit it so it sounds clean. Right. That's option one. How I vastly prefer now to do PowerPoints and do slide deck presentations is I create a bulleted list of what I want to talk about. I record it either on a YouTube video or just on audio. and then I go back and actually make slides for the audio. And the reason I started doing it that way, one, because it was a lot easier for me to just go to Fiverr or use our own team and hire out the slide deck creation. Because when I looked at all the content that we made, whether it was webinars, whether it was training videos, whatever it was, I was looking for ways to work less. And the number one thing that takes the most time, period, is making a slide deck. It takes forever to make a really good slide presentation, even if it's just text, because you're thinking about it, you're trying to find it, you're looking for the perfect image for 10 minutes, then you go to Canva and edit something, and you come back over here and then you go back to your slides, and then it's 18 hours later before you finally sit down to record. And I was like, this is crazy. I could just write an outline and talk, and then somebody else could make the slide deck, or I could even go back and it would force me on railroad tracks to make slides that matched what I'd already said. So I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to go on and have to say all that. So that's how we make our courses now is we talk either like on a Facebook Live or YouTube Live or just on audio, and then someone goes back and makes the slide deck for all of that stuff. So that's how I would recommend you do it myself.
All right. Our next question is from Janet. Janet says, I just launched my membership site. It's resources for bilingual Spanish elementary teachers. I have a list of 900, growing at about 300 a month. I'm getting a lot of traffic from Pinterest to my website, and I have a very big audience of teacher pay teachers buyers that I'm strategically trying to get to come over to my site. How often should I be emailing the list? I know you say to drop knowledge, but I feel like I should point to a resource or blog post within an email. I'm a little confused on the best strategy to get people familiar with my who are familiar with my materials to convert into members and getting access to everything at once.
Yeah, I mean, even though people have access to everything at once, and Jocelyn can tell you about this from her elementary librarian website, they don't know it's there and they forget it's there. Right. So you may think that, oh, even people who buy stuff from me, well, they've already got everything. They just know it's there. But if they don't use it and if it's out of sight, it will go out of mind. So what we did was we created autoresponders where we just reminded them. They just send them a resource they're already paying for. Send them something they're not paying for to show them how awesome the stuff is inside your membership. Because remember, it's behind a paywall. If you don't let that content out, content wants to be free. You've got to let it out of the cage to go show people what's awesome and then get them to come back and realize, hey, this is organized for me. It's curated for me. If I just log in every day, I'm fine. But you're going to have to send an email out to your paid members at least once or twice a week. You're going to have to email your list almost every day. Send them something. I mean, you've got people who need this stuff. You don't have to send them the whole thing. You don't send them a whole lesson plan for the day, but you might send them a worksheet. You might send them a piece of the puzzle, right? And then remind them if they'll just come buy your thing, they can get the rest of it. It would be like if I sent an email out today that said, like I actually sent a did a Facebook post earlier, and I said, "Hey guys, we're having a member call today. We're having a Q&A with S&J right now for our members. If you to attend, so they get to come see how awesome this member call is, right? They get to see how cool you guys are, how awesome the chat room is, just burning it up with hundreds of messages. They get to hear me and Jocelyn talk and answer your questions, and then they want to join, right? But you're gonna have to email your list. If they're not a member, I would recommend emailing Monday through Friday. I just really recommend doing that. And then Jocelyn can explain a little bit about how she automated the process of reminding people what was actually inside of her membership. So, Jocelyn, tell them like what you did with Elementary Librarian.
So, because on Elementary Librarian, I had like probably over 500 lesson plans and hundreds of resources to go along with it, it was a little bit overwhelming even in the membership. So what I did is I went and set up an automated email sequence where I would email people twice a month and tell them, "Hey, here's the resource of the week," or "Check out this relevant resource," just to remind people all the time of, "Oh, here's this cool thing," not just you signed up for it and you're paying for it every month.
And you did that for the like, didn't you have a nurture sequence that was outside too, like sending people lesson plans like every other week or something like that? Or you did something, you did a big long free nurture sequence too of
Yeah.
people who didn't buy.
So along with that, so I did that for people who were paying members. Then also for people who were not paying members that were just on my email list, I would send them something weekly. Just it might be a worksheet, it might be a PowerPoint, it might be just something simple, not an entire lesson plan, but I would just send them a little something just to be like, hey, here's some cool free stuff. And just a reminder, I have hundreds more resources inside this community.
And I do the same on U.S. History Teach. We still have one education site left, and the game plan this year is to follow the curriculum map, and every Monday is to send people the first lesson in a unit, because that's like, hey, here's a whole day. Now see, come by the rest, right? So you're just giving people enough breadcrumbs back to remember that you're there. Because if you don't remind them, nothing, nobody else will. And you can't just assume they're going to find you once and come again. It takes people 7, 8, 9, 10 interactions with your brand before they ever join your thing. Like, people don't just find our podcast and listen to Flip Lifestyle one time and be like, I'm all in. No, they probably listen for a month or two, and then they're like, man, I need to go do this. I need to listen to these people. They're doing it. Hundreds of other people in their community are doing it. I think I figured it out the other day, and we've had like dozens of people this year have already quit their job. But like, you don't know that when you first find our podcast. You don't know what's happening inside the Flip Your Life community the first time you hear one of our interviews on another person's podcast. There's a definite warming up period, and if you're not warming up them up, they're never gonna call you back. It's like if you meet someone, you want to go on a date with them, you call them, and then you're like, okay, I'm just not gonna call you anymore, and we'll get married in a year. Like, that's not gonna happen. There's a warming up process, and it's your job to initiate that. So if you don't feel comfortable emailing every day, if you don't want to set up an autoresponder, just email people Monday, Wednesday, Friday with something cool, right? Even if it's just touching base and ask them what they want, and they'll know you enough to eventually come by you. But you got to keep them going. It's your job.
All right. Let's see. Our next question today is from Lindsay. Lindsay says, one of the things that has been holding me back is concern about legal issues. So I have two parts to this question. Number one, how do you protect yourself from concerns over copyright issues? If a course offers advice that is similar to other information someone puts out in a book, for instance, can the person sue you for copyright infringement? I'm obviously not copying someone else, but there are times where my advice may parallel another person's advice. So, how similar is too similar? Also, I have trademarked my business name and submitted my ebook for copyright, but I'm wondering what other legal issues I may need to consider. Thank you.
Okay, first of all, copyright is happens as soon as you release something. Like, it's just automatic. You I don't
You don't have to
you
apply for
you don't have to apply for
anything.
anything. Now, trademark you do, which is good that you've already done that. That's fine. We own a couple trademarks ourselves to protect our brand. We had like a little issue. HGTV was using some of our lingo, and like we made sure we filed for trademarks and stuff to protect that. So that's good. But copyright, if you write a book, it's copyright protected. Like, anything that's created is copyright
The
protected.
minute it comes out of your mouth
Yeah,
or that you write it, it
it's
is
protected.
protected.
There's no like applying for it. If I'm sure there's people online that tell you like they need to apply something, but don't worry about that. But like, as for worrying about you copying someone else, as long as you're not copying someone else, just do it. Like, all information is known by somebody. Um, you know, I'm pretty sure every textbook in America says Abraham Lincoln is the 16th president, just like our lesson plans do, but that doesn't matter, right? Even if you're teaching something that someone else knows, there's a thing called free, what's it called?
Fair
Fair
use.
use. There's a thing called fair use where, information that's out there in the public and the general knowledge can be packaged in different ways. So, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not going to tell you never to worry about anything, but just write some terms and conditions and go make your content. As long as you're not copying someone, as long as you're not trying to be similar to someone and violate their trademarks and violate the way they're doing things, just be you, just do your thing. Nothing out there is not being taught by somebody else in some way. Like, I don't care what niche you're in, I don't care what subject you're in. You may think that you're the only person that's ever done it in a certain way, but somebody's probably done it the same way you're doing it. The difference is your personality, the difference is your organization, the difference is your curation, the difference is your style. And that's you. And they can't copy that. So, we hear this fear a lot. We worried about it a lot, but I assure you that the copyright ninja of the planet, Jocelyn over here, who really always worries about, because she was a librarian. That was a big issue. We don't want to copy anybody on anything, but there's nothing new under the sun. and you can just package it up and present it, and just don't copy people, and you're fine.
So what I've always done, like on lesson plans, on materials, I mean, there are no lesson plans that haven't been done in some form or fashion. Basically, it's just the same type of information. You're just putting a little bit of spin on it. So what I would do is I would just always use things as a model. So I would look up some type of worksheet, and maybe that particular piece of work was on the presidents, and instead I would do it on the states of the United States. I
Or
just change
something,
it a little
right?
bit to make it my own.
Yeah.
So just be cautious. Don't directly copy someone, but if you're using something as a guideline, as a model, and putting your own spin on it.
I think people get confused between plagiarizing and copyright. Okay. Like, copyright is really not that big a deal. Like, you go out and make your own thing. You don't try to, but like you said, information is generally available in certain things. Like, if you teach someone how to fix a Ford truck, like, the engine works a certain way. If you do a YouTube video that shows someone how to change the oil on a Ford truck, and someone else has already done a video on how to change the oil in a Ford truck, that's not copyright. It's copyright that they did the video and that they did it their own thing, but that's
So
not
if
the
you
same thing.
posted their video and said this is my video, then
Yes,
yes, that's a
that's a
violation of copyright.
violation, like, because you're stealing something from someone
If
else,
you
or
transcribed their exact video and presented it in the exact way they presented
as
it.
an ebook, that would be plagiarizing, right? That's where people get in trouble. That's what's bad. That's stealing. But like, if you teach the same thing, like if I teach you how to swim, well, the United States Lifeguard Association doesn't have a patented way to teach people how to swim or whatever. They might write a book that would be copyright protected, so you can't just go, write it word for word and steal their pictures. Okay, or they did the work to take the pictures, so you may have to go take new pictures. But there's a difference in plagiarizing and copywriting, right? So, don't get too caught up into this, guys. And if here's the deal, even in everything you ever create, if it ever became an issue and someone said, "Hey, this isn't a direct copy. This looks like a direct copy of what I did." Well, just take it down and do something else. Like that, deal with these problems when they show up, and be precautious and don't steal things. And they'll probably never. I've never heard of anyone that this is a problem with in our entire business. So, just do
And if
your
something
thing. Do
does
your
come
thing.
up, just deal with it when it comes up.
That's right.
Most
Don't
of the
invent ghosts.
time, people are not going to spend the time and energy to fight a small business over something.
It's hard enough to create a successful online business and run it on a day-to-day basis without thinking of every contingency of everything that could ever go wrong, period, ever. Right? Like, and I feel like we're really kind of leaning into that territory here of worrying about every word that comes out of your lips or your fingertips is going to be copyright violated by somebody else. But you're not really doing that. You're not really doing anything like that. So you got your trademarks, write your stuff, and if it ever becomes a problem, deal with it. But it's probably not going to become a problem for
Yeah,
you.
Tanya says I often add derived from blank. I've done the same thing. So on some of my worksheets, I might say modeled after this, or
You can
um,
cite things like with actual like MLA citation. Is it MLA? Is that what it's called? I can't remember. It's been a long time. But
yeah, like APA is
APA and all
one.
that
Yeah.
stuff. Like, you can cite things if you want to help you. Make sure you give credit where credit is due. Um, but usually things you create is just things you create. So create it. Don't copy, and you'll be fine.
All right. The next question today is from Eva. Eva says, I was wondering if you could delve into the topic of creating urgency with your offer versus always being open. I know you guys advised me last time to become prolific with my webinars and $1 trials, but there's so much emphasis on creating urgency as a means of pushing potential members through the door and converting them to paying customers. It almost sounds like becoming prolific with my webinars and creating urgency are two conflicting strategies, and I need to choose one over the other. How does one figure out the right strategy for them and rectify these two seemingly important yet conflicting strategies?
Okay, I love this question. This is a great question. It's a question that Jocelyn and I often find ourselves at odds with other people about, like especially people we mastermind with, people on other podcasts, because it goes back to everybody's looking for the magic trick. Everybody's looking for the sleight of hand. You hear all these gurus say, well, I put a timer on my thing and I counted down to zero and everybody ran out. That's fine. You can put timers in. Timers do work. They do create urgency, right? You can create scarcity, right? You can say, hey, this week, this webinar, I'm only letting 25 people in my community. right? And then the doors will open back up next week. But if you want to get in today, I'm letting 20 people in. Like that creates scarcity, right? But what Jocelyn and I have always done, okay, is we've figured out alternative ways besides our core offer to create scarcity and urgency. The first way we do that is with our marketing, right? When we talk about like the Flip Livestock podcast, when we talk about the Flip Your Life community, I don't focus on the urgency to do it now because the timer is going to run out. I talk about the urgency and like you hate your job. You have a cruel boss. You want to spend more time with your kids. Your kids are getting older. That's the urgency, right? When we talk about urgency in the education field, if I send an email out on Sunday night and you're a teacher and you haven't done anything all weekend and you got a class the next morning, you have built-in urgency. What you really want to look for in all of your markets and all of your niches is the built-in urgency in your people that you're selling to about their thing, right? If you've got a like today, I'm going on a boat trip and I needed to learn how to pull jet skis, right? So I had an urgency because I'm going out on a lake tomorrow to figure out how to pull jet skis behind a boat, right? So I had to go find that information now. I would have probably paid for it. I went to the store and I bought the ropes that I learned how I needed. I bought the clips. I had urgency built into what I was doing because it was about me, it was about my life. And that's what all of your marketing should do is look at your customer. What is their urgency? Why do they need this today? Okay? The problem that people get into is everybody's got a different day or a different thing or a different time. You don't know when the urgency is. That's why we don't do the webinar, the timer, the whatever. We have our doors always open. So when it's urgent for you, we you see that in our marketing and then you'll go buy it, right? So that's the first thing that you got to look for. The second thing is to create alternative products for your scarcity. Our membership is always open. You can always go get a free trial. You can always pay monthly, and you can always do that. It's always there to join monthly, right? But the only time that you can get specials, it's Isaac. The only time that you can get specials, like special deals. Hold on a second. Yeah, I gotta put it on do not disturb. The only time that you can get a special deal is like on a webinar or something. So that might be an annual plan. Like right now, the public price, if you went and joined today at Flip Lifestyle, you're going to pay $149 a month. So anybody paying less than that because you joined earlier, you got a deal right now. But every once in a while, we'll offer a discount on the annual price of about half that. But that would be how we would create scarcity with our pricing. It wouldn't be, we don't put our monthly membership on sale. We don't put our monthly membership on whatever. Like it is what it is. But like you can create other things. We've done a quarterly plan at times where it's like, because what we do is we want to reward commitment. That's a great way in your membership to create scarcity is say, look, this is $100 a month or whatever, but I'll do $200 for a quarter. So you're going to get a deal, but you're going to commit up front and there's no refunds. It's a no refund deal. You're burning the boats. You're moving forward. You're committing to your success. You're committing to our program, but we are going to reward that commitment with a discount, but we're going to remove something else. Right. So that's a way you can create some scarcity. It's why we love the membership model because you can reward commitment and offer discounts on prices without affecting your core offer. I do not like random timers every week and always discounting your main core offer price 50% and always doing those things. So this is not a this is not an easy puzzle to figure out. Like you have to figure out how to create urgency and scarcity without being shady about it and being dishonest and straight lying. There's a lot of people out there just straight lie. They just straight lie and say, this is $1,000 today and it'll never be offered again. And then they have another webinar next week and they offer it for $1,000. You can't do that. You got to figure out other ways to do it. So how we do it is we look for urgency and scarcity in the market. What makes it urgent for the person who's actually searching for that thing today? That's all you need. And then reward people with longer commitments and things off of your core offer.
And I think this goes back again to which one is the easy button, which one is the magic pill. There's not one. Like we can tell you to do one thing, somebody else can tell you to do something else. Both of them would probably work. So you have to figure out what is the best answer for your audience. What do they need? and provide them with the strategy that makes the most sense for your offer and your audience.
And we've always found the best way to do this, and this is something we talk about in a lot of our courses, especially the avatar and offer training, is you've got to know your people's calendar. If you know your customer's calendar, then you have all the information you need to create scarcity for them because you know why they need something now. The problem is everybody thinks you make one offer, one sales page, one webinar, one ad, and I'm going to get rich. And that's not how it works. You're constantly in the trenches figuring out where your people are, what your people are doing, and why it's scarce today. Like this, you may do the same webinar, but your pitch may sound a little different next week, right? But maybe one month you have a Black Friday sale, the next month you have a Christmas sale. You can have sales like that. That creates urgency. It's the same discount, but it's just on a different day, right? If you know someone needs something now, then you can present that they need it now. Like that's why goal setting courses, everybody does a goal at all these, what's the guy that does the 12-week year? What's that guy? Whatever his name is, the guy wrote a book called the 12-week year or something. Every year, December and January is all about, New Year's resolutions and goal setting courses because it's top of mind in the marketplace. Be top of mind in the marketplace. Don't use the fear of a clock as your only way to create urgency, and people will react faster to your offer.
Okay. Again, sorry for all the coughing. We've been a little sick. All right. Let me see. Our next question today is from Jen. She says, "The last 2 months, none of my almost 30 members have attended my live monthly Q&A member calls. I'm going to email my members and ask what they want the call to look like or if it's just a scheduling issue. Do you have advice on ways I can structure the call? I did it similar to how you have yours set up, but in Zoom. I wanted to give them some ideas of what it could look like in order to get them thinking about what they want."
Every market's different. Like we know some people that they do all their calls on their Facebook groups because for their market, that's where they could get people to show up. Some people do them on YouTube Live because that's where they could get their people to show up. We do ours in a membership because we can get people to show up in the membership.
And what you
So
have to remember is, I mean, right now you have 30 members, and those 30 people have a very full schedule. So it's not probably that they don't want to attend, it's just that they have things going on that might prevent them from attending. One thing that we try to do each month is we try to rotate the times of our calls
yeah,
because we have people all over the world. So sometimes, like noon is a really bad time for our Australian people because right now it's like 2 a.m. over there. So that's not a great time for them. But sometimes we do 9 a.m., sometimes we do 9 p.m. We just rotate it around so that way we have a chance for more people to be able to participate.
yeah. So you can do all kinds of little tricks like that. I love the first thing out of your mouth was let me go ask my people what they need and what they want. That's the best way because every avatar is different. The people that follow us, the people that follow you, the people that follow anyone else in this room, everybody's on a different schedule. What if you're in a niche where everybody works second shift, right? If that's true, then 9 p.m. would be a terrible time because everybody would be at work, right? But for us, 9 p.m. is usually a good time because we have a lot of 9 to 5ers and we have people on the other side of the world. So we try to hit that 9 p.m. call about every third, member call.
And I want to say also, make sure that you're doing a good job of internal marketing. Sending one email to people telling them there's a member call, that is not all you need to do. Maybe of those 30 people, maybe 10 people open that email. So the
Yeah.
other 20 people might not even have known about it. Make sure that you're posting it on your Facebook page. You are sending out an email.
It's in what we stick when we schedule these calls, we stick them on the top of every forum in the entire community so that people know there's a member call, and that's why we have good
When you
turnout.
still have a small membership, send them a personalized video. Do a use Loom and say, "Hey, Shane, I just wanted to let you know that I'm having a member call tomorrow. I can't wait to see you there. This is how you get there. Here's the link. If you have any questions, let me know." Well, you still have a small enough email list where you or a small enough membership where you can do that.
And also too, like I don't know when your member calls are, and I'm not saying you do this, but I have seen other people do this. There's a lot of really jank bunk information out there. And really, like, it's really, really bad advice. People are like, well, it's your life. And you schedule calls when you want to have calls, and you do this and you do that. And that's not how it should work. The reason we rotate the calls is because when Jocelyn and I have a meeting and we're looking at our calendar, we're like, man, the only way we can serve certain people is if we have a 9 p.m. call. We need to do that, right? If it doesn't fit in your schedule, you need to fit it in your schedule. That's just the way it is. Like if your people say, "Man, I'd really like for you to do this at 10 o'clock. It's the best time for me is 10 p.m. on a Monday." That may be a horrible time, and I'm not saying you got to do that every week, but you need to if you want to serve people and you want people to send you money for your service, then you got to meet them in the middle, And I really get so fed up with all these entrepreneurs that are all over Facebook and their podcast, and they're like, it's just me, 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 me. It's like, well, I don't have time for that, or I shouldn't be doing that, or you should never, bow to their wishes, or you can't be emailing everybody back, and all these things. Like, you can't do that. You have to serve your people, and you do have control over that. But if it ain't working, you got to find what works. So you may have to do it at a time you don't want to sometimes. That's just the way it is. It's 12 o'clock right now. This is a really convenient time for us, but our next one, the next member call that we do will probably be at 3, and then the one after that will be at 9 p.m. And it might be on a Sunday night, you know? And we just got kids ready. We got school the next morning, but hey, we have to do that because we have a very large Australian and contingent. We've got a lot of people in Eastern Asia and stuff like that in our membership. And there's a lot of people that work during the day and they can't be at this 12 o'clock call. So they need the 9 p.m. call. I'm doing a call tonight for Flip Your Life Nashville people. And I do those at 9 p.m. because I know that's most convenient for everybody in that group. So, you might have to find different times and it may not be the best time for you. But, if it's the best time for 100 people who are paying you $50 a month, sometimes you got to make a little sacrifice to make it work. So,
Yeah, and Tanya says, ask what questions they need answered. I agree with that. Maybe even give them a preview. Say, hey, my member Tanya has asked this great question that is ABC. If you want to know the answer to this question, come to the member call and come with your own question. I'll be happy to help.
teaser trailer kind of deal. That's a
Yeah.
really good idea.
Just make sure that you're doing a good job of that because sometimes people might not ever come to a member call. Like if it were me and was in a membership, I've been in a couple of different memberships, and some of them I go to the calls, and some of them I don't. Maybe it's just that I don't have a question. Maybe I'm not available at that time. Some people just don't do calls, and that's fine. Or some people are lurkers. If you're a lurker on this call right now, say hello in
Oh,
the
there are
chat.
more. I'm watching the stats right now. There are many more people watching this video than there are actually talking in the chat room. And that's just the way it always goes. So, your member call may turn into like a member Q&A video. Don't don't be a slave to the way we do things either, or the way you're doing things now. You should always be willing to change. For example, what if your thing became a video and people could email you their questions and you just sent everybody in the whole group a video and you answered them on a video, right? Now you're doing a member call, but now you're making it more convenient for your people, right? Same thing, same thing's happening. I love the live interaction. We love this environment, but you don't have to do it that way if it's not working. Find something that works. Okay.
All right. All right. Sarah was lurking. Welcome, Sarah. If you're lurking, say hi. It's okay.
Come on, lurkers. Come out of the
Um,
shadows.
all right, our next question is from Court. He says, I keep hearing people talk about minimum viable product. What does that mean? And exactly how minimal are we talking?
A minimum viable product is the minimum thing that you can do to get it to the marketplace as fast as possible.
Basically, to prove that your concept works.
Yep.
So, in other words, you don't want to create a huge 20 volume course of videos that are 3 hours long if you don't know for sure that people are going to want that or, more importantly, purchase it.
Uh, Interesting. There's a lot of different strategies to test minimum viable products. The first course that we did, we didn't want to do a giant membership with members and courses and all this. Like right now, your life is enormous. But like when we first did it, it was like 10 videos or something like that. Just like little 15, 20-minute videos. So that was our minimum viable product. The first, Jocelyn didn't want to make a whole year of lesson plans. So she made 1 month and we sold it to as many people as we could. And then when we saw people buy it, we made the second month. There's a lot of techniques that you can do to test your product too. Like some people will pre-sell a product. So you're like, hey guys, I'm going to make this 7-video course. I'm going to let anybody that pays it now have unlimited access for life. And you're going to go along with me while I create it. That's called pre-selling. So then over the next 7 weeks, you release one course a week. You do this with people and get feedback as you go. You ask them what they want so you can make it better. and then you take the packaged thing and you go out. So that in that case, the minimum viable product is basically an outline and the promise that they get to work with you for a few weeks. Another way to do minimum viable products, I've seen people do this, is they will make the sales page for what they're going to create, period, and they will sell it. And they'll put that sales page out there with. I just had a buddy do this last week. He's like, I got an idea for a course. So he made the course, what it was going to look like, everything, told about it, spelled it out. And at the bottom, he put a buy button, and then everybody bought it, right? He got some people to buy it. And once he saw the marketplace actually buy the thing, he refunded all of their money and said, sorry, this is going to be on back order. We're not going to be able to do this until later. So he just gave everybody their money back, but he proved that it worked. That was a minimum viable product because it proved someone was willing to vote with their wallet, right? So, like Jocelyn said, the moral of the story here is you create just enough to get someone to buy it. It might not even be the whole thing. Like you might get someone to buy, $20 for a part of a course or like one video, but you're going to create 10 of them. So it's eventually going to be worth 200. But it's just the minimum thing that you can get done and get out there and avoid perfectionism and see if someone will buy your thing, right? And then go make the rest of it. So I mean, Jocelyn did this for a year. You basically did like what was it like? You did one lesson plan. You did the lesson plans every month and just kept selling the next thing on a pre-sale
Yeah,
page.
I
So
just baby stepped it. I mean, I would create 1 month and then I would sell it, and then I would go and create another month and I would sell it until I got it completely finished.
it's just the least you can get by with and get someone to buy something from you. That's what it is. A lead magnet in a lot of ways is a minimum viable product too, because what can you give away to get people to give you an email? And then what can you give, what can you sell to the people on your email list to get them to spend any money and then see if you can buy the whole thing. So, just the moral of the story is don't spend more than 2 weeks creating a product before it's for sale. I'll just put everybody out there on that. If you're taking a month to make a product, you've went too long.
And here's the thing, like once people start buying it, then you're really on the hook. Like you got to get it done.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good thing in a lot of different ways.
Good question.
All right. Next question today is from Kara. Kara says, I'm creating e learning cartoons for healthcare workers to teach best infection prevention practices to keep patients safe.
Can I just say once again, I love this community. Like that wasn't, and I'm not, like I always say, I'm not dogging anybody for life coaching or anything like that. But you get into a lot of other communities and everybody's trying to be a social media manager or something. Like, what did she just do?
Teach best infection prevention
And
practices.
she
We're
makes
saving people's lives
saving people's
here.
lives here, people. And she's making cartoons to do this.
I like it.
I like this. It's like,
This is good.
is it like the posters that you see like in the CDC, and it's like got like like what to do, like the Heimlich maneuvers and stuff like that. Like that's just amazing how many different people are
Flip your
here.
life community.
Flip your life community.
Saving
It's
lives.
saving lives, baby.
All right. I have one segment done. I could show. Do you think that putting that out there for people to use and asking if they have interest is the best approach?
Yeah, yeah. Never sit on content of any kind. I don't care if it's paid. I don't care if you give away for free, but it doesn't matter how good any content you create is if no one knows it's there. So yes, never hesitate. Put your stuff out there as soon as it's done.
And you have to let people see what it is they'll be getting before they're going to be willing to give you money most of the
For
time.
sure, for sure. So yes, go ahead and put it out there. Let people get into it. You if this is product quality, and you could definitely write a blog post about it and then have an opt-in to get the poster or whatever. Or I don't know exactly sure what it looks
Maybe
like.
even mail it to people. I mean, that can get expensive, but do a little test.
Yeah.
Mail them to people. Give them a coupon to buy more.
Yeah, see how it goes. So yeah, let it out. Never sit on content. We used to schedule a lot of stuff in advance, like blog posts and stuff, and but we're kind of now just releasing stuff as it's done because if I schedule something for a month from now, that's a month it's not in Google getting searched for, or on YouTube or in Facebook getting shared or whatever. So don't sit on content. You can stay a little ahead, but man, let that stuff be free.
All right. The next question today is from Senora Kareem. And it says, I'm moving away from one to one Spanish coaching.
Finally,
I will
good.
start Spanish conversational group workshops this September. I know you guys have done group workshops before. Do you have any insights or key aspects I need to consider about running workshops? Any wisdom is welcome.
Make sure. I think the biggest thing that we've gotten with workshops is being able to control the environment as much as possible. It's why we use Zoom, because for those workshops in particular. Like this is on a Google Hangout that we're doing this right now. It's on a YouTube Live kind of thing, and we've got it embedded in the community. But that's just because it's more like we're in a chat room, we're getting the questions, we can just it's kind of like one to many. But in that environment when people are going to be talking to each other, you need to be able to mute people, you need to be able to call on people, and you really need a good robust piece of software to do that. So if you're going to do workshops are great money makers too, by the way, guys. If you're not doing workshops just in your membership, number one, it helps people take a lot of action fast. When you get in with people in that environment, everybody gets excited, everybody gets energized, and you can really work one on one and help, mold people's direction. But like, you've got to be able to control that environment. You've got to be able to say, hey guys, I'm muting everybody. All right, Joe, you talk. And then you got to be able to say, all right, Joe, I'm muting you. We're going over to Cindy now, or whatever. So that's the biggest tip I would do for workshops is just be able to control the environment. You've got to be in charge in the room and have total control over that room because it can get really chaotic if you don't.
And we're actually getting ready to start workshops again. It probably won't be until after the live event is over, like in October. But we learned a couple of lessons from the first time that we did it, and we're going to change it up a little bit. So, one thing that we like to do is make sure that you limit the number of participants because not only does it create urgency, it just makes it more manageable, like during the time. And we're also thinking about maybe selling some lurker passes. So, this would be something that wouldn't be available in the community. Some people would actually get their business looked at and get their questions answered. And then other people will be able to just kind of look in on that and see what we're doing that wouldn't be in the community.
And what she's saying here is like Kareem, like you may not have but let's say you charge $300 for these workshops or whatever for a month. Okay. Not everybody might be able to do that, but some people might just want to be a fly on the wall. It's kind of the fifth grade dance thing where they're sitting in the chair around the wall while everybody else is in the middle. That's cool with them. They just want to watch, right? So you can scale that by selling $50 lurker passes, and people can come to these things and see you in action and see you going full speed ahead in a deep dive on someone's Spanish lesson, but they don't have to necessarily be a participant, right? So what you do is you sell the first 10 people and then you sell lurker passes on the backside of that. Okay. So that's a good way to scale workshops. But the main thing is just be in charge, be in control. Don't overextend yourself. If you get 20 people to sign up, I'd probably do two groups of 10. It's really hard to manage your time in a workshop environment with more than 10 people because this is these are deeper dives like than even these Q&As we do here. And the same thing will be true with you. It's not just a lesson. Now it's like working back and forth. You don't know exactly where it's going to go. And if you get too many people in the room or you don't have control of the room with the software, it's all going to fall apart and be chaotic. So, yeah, that's the best way to do worksheet. Don't overcomplicate it though. Just get Zoom or GoToMeeting. There you go. And just let X people in the room. Now do your workshop. You're fine. Eric's in Malaysia. Did you see that? That's cool.
All right. Let's see. Our next question is from Dan. And Dan says, my new course is designed for the birth community to help them with all their basic accounting/business setup. I like that. I like this direction much, much better, Dan.
Interesting. Good play here, sir. Good play.
I'm
Yep.
going to sell directly to the birth community, but I thought about making the actual course generic so other people can utilize it, photographers, etc. Can I use a general business name like he has a name here, but I'm not going to say it because the domain is available.
Yeah, right.
um, or should I have a business name specific to the birth community?
Okay. In this case, Dan, because you have access to a large database of people to sell this to immediately. The course that was for them. So I target this toward the birth community. Let them know it's for birth professionals. And then what you do is you can spin this off later and just go back and kind of retool it for other industries. This is the same thing that we would do. Like, for example, say we have ushistoryteachers.com, right? And we sell to social studies teachers that are in high school. That's what we sell to. That's our marketing right now. But we could sell the same exact content, maybe packaged in a different way, to homeschool parents for history, right? Because this is done for you. The kids just go through the material. It's easy. But if we did that, we would probably start a new website, have different marketing, a different sales page for homeschool people, but they're eventually going to get the same product. So You don't want generic. They can get generic small business anywhere, but these, because you have access to a database of a lot of these birth professionals, and you know they've spent money on, you know them business. This needs to probably almost, I wouldn't necessarily brand it like your other stuff, but it needs to be targeted toward them, and then later sell to other people. Because what if you could sell 300 of these like right now to somebody if it was targeted directly at them instead of just being generic, you
But I
know?
think that your actual course material, I think it could be sort of more general. Like, I don't think you
Sure.
have to use birth professional language in the actual
It's
training.
just the packaging is where you're doing that,
Yeah,
you
but your
know?
marketing, I think, really needs to be targeted toward those people.
It's like I saw a commercial, I saw the one, a viral video the other day on Facebook, and it was talking about the pink tax, and it was talking about how women's like deodorant or and stuff is like more, it costs more than a man's deodorant.
But it's the same thing.
But it's the same thing. Like they looked at the ingredients, looked at everything. Everything was exactly the same. In some cases, they even smelled the same, right? And it was like, but they just packaged it different. And because it was packaged different, they could sell the same thing with the same ingredients to two different demographics or markets. So, when you're teaching business accounting, when you're teaching the math, when you're teaching this, it doesn't have to be, you know, this is only how birth professionals add their money up, right? But like when you, this needs to be marketed toward them and kind of lean that way. Just and also too, you have an audience. Why give them any reason not to buy the thing when you could just say, "Hey, I've been doing the books for a birth professional now for years. I'm Dan. I can show you how to do this in your business. I understand your industry." Instead of, "Hey, I'm generic Dan. I can you can do this with pizzas or babies, whatever, like there's no reason to like change it up. Like
Pizzas or babies. You
pizzas
heard
or
it here
babies.
first.
That's your choice. That's the next t-shirt you'll see in a Flip Your Life video is a grill the hot dogs, pizzas or babies. Where are them dogs? We're going for it. No new t-shirt line, but yeah, get specific, Dan. Like be specific right here. Go make a ton of money and then go sell it to somebody else. That do this.
Our next question today is from Jennifer, who, by the way, got her first member today.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
Big
I
flip
love
your
it when people
life.
I love it. I love
Congratulations.
it when people make that first sale of any kind on a day of the member call.
And
That's awesome.
sometimes people make sales like while on the member call, which is super exciting. We love that. Okay, Jennifer says I did a Facebook Live Q&A and then I pitched, not pinched, I pitched membership as it's a great time to get in because I can help you more at this time. Now, what are your thoughts on doing a Facebook Live and not pitching, but using it to set appointments and doing the pitch one-on-one over Zoom?
That is 100% a okay. We do something very similar. For we have an orientation every Wednesday. Just totally transparent here. Anybody wants to come to the orientation, it's a great thing. DJ, he's in charge of our orientations. He shows you things about the community you probably don't even know about. Like he takes you through all the steps, all the things. And but one of the things he does do is he rewards people that show up to the orientation. And if you don't take the annual price, he offers you a follow-up call where DJ helps you with your business, and then he will, pitch that price again. So one of the greatest sales techniques you can ever use is to get people to make an appointment. That's why webinars work so well, because you get people to put you on their calendar, right? And especially in the beginning when you can do all these one-on-one calls, Jennifer, why not do that? Why would you not do that? Because it is easier to make that offer and to answer that person's one-on-one questions on so
If you're interested in doing the orientation, even if you've been a member for a long time, if you just want some more information about the community or how to post or whatever, over on the right hand side, it says join us for orientations. You just click that little button and you'll get more information about that.
yeah, DJ does it. We do an orientation every Wednesday night for all new members and existing members. Anybody can come. It's free. And there's a lot of there's stuff in the community that I don't even know how to do. And but DJ knows how to do everything in that menu. So he'll show you how to use the community better.
All right. The next question today is from Rachel. It says, I've been focusing on Facebook marketing, doing Facebook Live and webinars. That has worked for me to grow my Facebook group to 3,400 members and my email list to 2,000.
Whoa.
I know I need to start using Pinterest, but my brain is fried and I feel I can't go in too many directions. I'm a teacher and I'm starting work again Monday. I'm wondering if anyone in the community does Pinterest social media managing and they could set things up for me.
I would challenge you really quick. here's what always challenge people. It can be really addicting to grow your email list and grow your social media and feel like you've got to be everywhere. And now I want Pinterest and I want a bunch of Pinterest followers, and all those things are really good. But until 10% of the people that already follow you are a member of your thing and buying your products, why would you do anything but try to sell? You have like, what did she say, 3,000 group people? And you have 3,000 group people. You have 2,000 email lists. You have 5,000 human beings. 5,000 human beings that are following you right now in some way or form that you have access to. Why would you not put all of your energy into selling 100 of them your membership, or selling, 500 of them your product? Like, that's where your energy really needs to go. Don't add more social media. Don't add more stuff. Okay. Just post pin stuff if you really want to pin things. Like, don't worry about growing it. Like, 5,000 people. What's 10% of 5,000? Is that 500? Yes.
Yeah.
Like, what if you could sell 5% of those people a membership for $50 a month? You would have 250 people paying you uh, $50 a month, which is 120,000. No, 120. That's like almost $150,000 a year, I think. So, like, that's where your energy needs to go right now, is sell those people. Stop growing the audience is not the goal, guys. That's what a lot of people make you think the goal is. It's important, but go mobilize your audience into paying customers so that you can afford to hire people to go do your Pinterest for you. Okay. Um, so I kind of got up off the. I'm up on the soapbox a little bit here, people.
All
But
right. Dan has shared with us a link to a shirt that they have created that says, "Babies are not pizzas. They're born, not delivered."
that is amazing.
I think it's
Yes.
only for women though, so I don't think it'll work
Okay.
out for you.
I
But
will totally steal. In full copyright violation. I'm going to take that and manipulate it into my own T-shirt for men. Okay.
all right. Let's see. We know Dan and Rebecca in real life, so
Just
maybe they won't sue us.
just joshing around.
All right. Let's see. This next question is from Eric. Eric says, "Could you share with me some examples on what I should send out to my subscribers the moment they have opted into my mailing list?" Oh, Eric, you are in luck because we have a whole training on this, as well as email templates that you can use right here in the community.
Yeah. All you have to do is what we like to do is when someone signs up for our email list, it works a little different now because the free trial didn't totally fit perfectly in what we were trying to do when we were selling just like products and things like that, when we were focused so much on the product. But in general, what you want to do is you want to get people the thing you delivered them as fast as possible. You immediately want to indoctrinate them. You want to send out two emails on like within 5 minutes of each other, which is, hey, this is a little bit more about us, and here's something cool, right? Maybe it's to follow on Facebook, maybe it's to connect with you, whatever. Then you want to give them something else that's amazing, like wow them with an unexpected bonus, and then you want to start pitching. Like, we don't wait 6 weeks to pitch anything anymore. Probably 3 or 4 days later we're going to try to get you to buy something, because that's when people are hottest, is when they first find you. So you want to wow them, you want to give them a lot of value, and then you want to sell them something within probably 72 hours just to see where they're at. So go watch that training. It's an email autoresponder training. It has 7 templates to get you started. And just like I said earlier, whenever you're evaluating stuff, guys, don't think you just make something and set it and forget it and you're done forever. Like, you're going to have to look at your emails, at your open rates, and see what your audience responds to and change it over time. Everything evolves. So you're going to have to evolve your brand. Was that Eric Chow?
Yes.
He's in Malaysia. That's pretty cool.
Cool. Awesome.
People on
Thank you
what
for
what
joining
time
us
is it in
today.
Malaysia right now? Was this
Somebody said it was 8 p.m., but I'm not sure if that was Eric. It might have been someone
okay?
else.
We got people from all over the world in here, so pretty cool. We have let's see here. Where we at? All right. I'm back in. Let's go.
All right. Our next question is from Ben. Ben says, "Should I use post on my Facebook business page as part of my growth and discovery strategy? I'm having trouble understanding the differences between promotion strategy and social outreach strategy on Facebook. How much and how often do I post on my business page to drive engagement for growth? Or is Facebook posting more for keeping my current audience engaged and ads are the primary growth strategy?"
Well, I mean, what we do is we just treat our Facebook page like our personal page. Like, we just post on it when we want to post, and that's because you're going to get both. If you post on your page regularly, one, you're going to have more things to drive ad traffic to. And number two, people are going to like it, comment on it, and share it, which will help you get discovered. One neat trick that we do is whenever anyone shares something or we see a lot of likes on our post, if you click it on is like 47 people that it'll open up and you'll see that some people don't follow your page that saw it. So we go in and manually invite all those people to like our page because what happened was someone shared our post, someone they're in connection with, Facebook showed it to them, and then we can invite it. So you're going to get some organic growth from all the things that you post anyway. So, don't overthink this, guys. Share cool stuff on your Facebook page and drive ads to boost posts and do things like that to get more people to find you.
But what you have to remember, especially with Facebook, is that people use it for personal reasons. They use it to connect with their friends and family. They use it to laugh a little bit, to share pictures, things like that. That's what you need to be doing with your business pages as well. It's easy for us because we're a personal brand. So we share a lot of family stuff. We talk about a lot of things that we're doing personally because that's things that people in our audience would respond to. So you have to keep that in mind. Like, what are people going to respond to? Are they going to respond to your latest blog post about the top 10 ways to keep your website safe from cyberbullying or something?
Yeah.
Probably not. But they might respond to a picture of your cat.
Or they might respond to a cool viral video you found of some kids that stood up for someone about bullying, right? Like you have to think what would you share? What would other people share? And that's what you've got to share. We use this guy as an example all the time because he's got the best Facebook page I've ever seen. Is Evan Burse at the cartoonblock.com. He goes every morning and finds cool drawing tutorials and he just shares those. And
They're not his
they're not
necessarily.
his necessarily, but he's built a Facebook following of hundreds of thousands of people. Some of his things get like 10,000 shares, and it's just because he starts the post, right? So use your Facebook page like people on Facebook use Facebook, and then you'll be able to get more reach because of it.
All right.
Did we skip Alex? Because I saw.
I've got it right here.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
And
We
Alex
have
is
a
in
lot
Paris,
of
right?
really good questions today, and we're not going to get to all of them. So if you have your question, we apologize. Try to put it into the general discussion. I
We'll
get in
be in
there
there.
pretty much daily, so I will try to get to it in there. All right. This question is from Alex in France. It says, I have gone through most of the training videos and I love them. I'm launching my membership site for parents of children with autism who are looking for daily activities they can do with their children at home and behavioral tips to help manage their children's behavior. I currently have two small products and one course that I sell to my list of about 1,500 people regularly. I was thinking of creating 1 month of lesson plans and selling it as a one off product since my list is used to this, and then launching the membership at the same time. I have two questions. Should I launch 1 month of lesson plans first and then offer the membership, or should I launch it at the same time? I already know what you're going to say.
Yep.
And next, how much should I charge?
Yep. You should never sell two things at once. You should always sell one thing. $49, they're going to buy a $49 membership because then you can say, well, like what sounds like a better deal? Hey, get this one product for $49 or get everything I sell for 49 bucks a month and you can have it whenever you want. And this feels like you're tentative, like you're a little scared to see if people will pay for the membership because they've always paid for the one-offs before. And you're going to have to like be brave in the face of that fear and just say, I've got to try this.
And it's all about the way you sell it. If you say, "Hey guys, I know you've always bought products from me just one time, but like, I'm going to try something else. And if you don't like it, I mean, like I can go back to the other way." No, that's not what you're going to say. You're going to say, "Hey, I have something really cool for you. Like, I know that in the past you guys have bought stuff from me, but this is going to be even better because instead of just giving you one thing, you're going to have access to my entire library of stuff. It's going to be so cool. You're going to love it. And not only that, I'm also going to support you in these ways." Do you see how much better that is? How I'm not scared to do it. I'm not apologizing for it. Instead, I'm telling them, hey, this is going to make your life better. And let me tell you how.
Yeah, and we practice what we preach here, guys. We had built a huge business selling digital products, especially in the education space in 2015. Like we were making really good money. Six-figure months were happening. It was insane. And then we got into this concept of memberships and recurring revenue. And Joss and I were on an airplane, and I looked over at her and said, we've got to switch everything to this in one foul swoop. Like this isn't tiptoe into it. Like and it was terrifying because we were about to come up to our best month of the year, and it was all going to happen, and it was like sink or swim, like in the deep end.
That's typically the way we make decisions.
Yes. So like, and it was scary. We had a long talk about this, but when we did it, we said no. The only way you can now buy our product is through this membership recurring revenue model, and you must pay a monthly membership or an annual membership. We did it with every business that we had, every website we had, all at the same time.
And you know what? There were a few people who didn't like it. There were people who had bought my products one off and they were like, I don't like this. This is a rip off, whatever. But you know what? Most people did like it.
Yeah, and it
And
was
I sold it to them. I didn't say, hey guys, I've got this thing for you. You
Shane
might
made me
like
do
it.
it. He thinks it's a good idea.
No, I said, hey, this is amazing. This is going to be better than anything you ever bought. And here's the reasons why. And they bought it.
Yeah, and
Lots and lots of
and
people
some
bought
people
it.
won't, so don't worry about it. Like, and here's on digital products like you're doing now. There's always, it's not like this is life or death. We're just trying something new here, folks. You
And
know,
on the price, I mean, it just varies from different spaces, okay? So what I would do is I would find someone who's doing something similar to you, see what they're charging.
it's like, I don't know. Let's try 39 and see if it
And
works,
here's the
right?
thing. If you are convincing people that the value is there, it doesn't matter what you
It doesn't
charge.
matter
As
what you
long
cost.
as you do your job of convincing them that you're providing the value for that price, they'll pay it.
Like, for example, you have a child with autism who gets bored because the parent doesn't know that there's, what to do, doesn't know any activities. And so what happens probably in that case is, the kid gets frustrated, the kid gets bored, the parent gets bored, or gets frustrated, and then they fight, and then the kid has maybe acts out or something, right? And that causes a lot of stress and a lot of problems in that household for that day. But if you're like, guys, I'm going to help you avoid that problem, like in the frustration of never, in the frustration, and you don't have to look at your kid upset anymore because they're acting out, because they're bored, or because they can't get on board with your activity, or because whatever. There's no price for that. Like, there's no value for that. That's priceless, right? So $49 is nothing. If you can, that's what you're not trying to sell. Hey guys, you can download these activities for your kid. You're trying to sell to them that you can remove the frustration and boredom and make their house and their life less stressful and better, right? And build the relationship between the child with autism and their parent. Like that's what you're selling. That's 97, whatever. It just depends what people want to pay to have that feeling, that result. So nobody sells digital products, guys. Digital product is just the delivery to get someone to the result, right? We don't sell you a 25 video WordPress course. We sell you, get your website up today or tomorrow, and let's get this thing for sale, right? That's the result. That's priceless. So that's what you're selling to.
All right. Our next question is from Deborah. Deborah says, I have grown my email list to 3,000 and my Facebook group to 12,000. You have inspired me to create a membership site. I have one paid course. Do I include it in my membership? And if my lead magnet is a 5-day email course, how do I send an email nurturing sequence if they're already being hit with 5 days of emails?
You just add it to the end of your 5-day emails. So if you've got like a 5-day course that starts everything, well, just the sixth email starts the next nurture sequence. So
And so basically, you want to try to then sell them.
into the membership after the course. And yes, you do. When you have a membership, here's the mindset shift. When you start a membership site, when you start a membership where people get access to everything, right? You got to give them access to everything for that monthly price. And the goal is, it's kind of like Sam's Club or Costco or something. You pay the membership so that you can go get what you need when you need it, right? I may not need the sales funnel training in the Flip Your Life community right now. Maybe I only need the WordPress course, or maybe I need the content creation course inside the Flip Your Life community. I'm paying my monthly membership so that I can go get access to that. Or you're paying the monthly membership so you can be on this, twice a monthly member call and maybe get your question answered, right? Like, that's what you're paying for. I know the other stuff is there for me when I need it to get there. I may go to Costco or to Sam's Club and I get a pallet of waters because I needed waters. But next month going out to go get, you know, a pallet of sodas or soda chip. I don't need a soda now, but I know it's there. It's for me. I've paid my membership and I'll go get it when I need it. Right. Same thing in your membership. The general rule of thumb is, guys, everything you create goes into your membership and they get access to everything at any time, almost like, a Walmart or something. It's there. You know where it is. You know where you can get it. You know it's there for you when you need it. Okay. If you don't do that, if you keep holding things back and you keep selling other things, like why would anyone join the membership? It makes no sense. And if you're constantly selling all of your courses individually and constantly spending all this energy on these little bitty things, why would anyone join your membership? Right? It just cannibalizes each other. So for us, it's hey, you pay a monthly fee. There's the big shelf with all the stuff on it. Get what you need when you need it. Okay. And just put it in there. So your next course also goes in the membership. It's just all available. And that makes your marketing easy because now someone walks up to you and they say, hey, I need A. Okay, well, we've got A in the membership. Join for the monthly fee. But then the next person comes up and goes, man, I really need E, F, and G right now. And they're like, okay, cool. Join the membership. E, F, and G is in aisle 3, right? You just go over there and get what you need. So it makes your marketing easier, makes your energy is a lot less because you're promoting one thing, the membership, where everything else lives. So yes, put that in there and then put your next thing in there and the next thing after that too.
All right. This is our final question for the day. We still have a few more that we did not get to. Go ahead and place those in the general discussion area of the community, and we will get to them as soon as we can. And then we got to this is number 19 of the day, so I think we did pretty well.
That's all right. That's
Um,
good.
this question is from Brian. Brian says, I've heard you use the phrase shiny object syndrome, and I believe I have that. I'm working on one task and then I get distracted by another unrelated business task or opportunity. How can I stay focused on what I'm trying to accomplish when all these other opportunities are calling for my attention?
Yeah, you just have to pick one and isolate yourself away. Um, Block time has been really important for me and Jocelyn to do this because the more you do and the more you learn and the more successful you get, the more opportunities come across your path. So you have to get really, really good at saying no. And you've got to get really good at like isolating yourself from everything else. So like when I go work, one thing that really I get distracted really easy, like way more than Jocelyn. And Jocelyn,
Truth.
yeah, Jocelyn is pretty focused. I get totally distracted, but like I also draw energy from like really active environments, like being in a coffee shop or being somewhere else. So I had to come up with ways to not distract myself. For example, I don't let myself open more than 2 browsers at a time. I don't have 47 tabs because if I have 47 tabs open, I'm going to click between all the tabs. Number two, I get really distracted by music with words because I sit there and start singing and start bouncing around. So I only listen to music that is instrumental while I'm working to one, block out all the sound that's around me and everything else. Opportunities, one of our core mission or our core values for our business is we do a few things really well. There's 100 projects that we know we could make a ton of money off of in our
And
business.
we are definitely drawn to them. We
Yes,
want to do things. Like we are people who like to grow things. We like to have ideas.
like to start new things.
Yeah, we love that. Like it makes us happy. But like I know that if we start a bunch of new things, we're not going to be doing the things that we always do well.
Yeah. So one thing we do is, every week, Jocelyn and I talk about all the things we're working on the next week, project level. Like there's only 3 things that we want to sell in our business right now. And we could sell 20 things, 100 things, like, but there's 3 things we're really focused on in the next 6 months. And every week we remind each other, these are the only things that we're working on. This is what we're doing. We've got the free trial, we've got the membership, we've got coaching calls, and we've got workshops. And there's 100 other things we could do. We're really wanting to have more live events, all this stuff, we want bigger live
We
events,
have
and
so many
so
ideas.
many ideas. But it's like you can't do that. Like, and so and what you when you look at yourself in the mirror and you have shiny object syndrome, you have to get honest and say, if you don't get focused, you will fail and you will never succeed. That's it. Like that's how it works. Some people can start more things than others. Some people can start less. But the bottom line is, if you don't zero in on the nail and hammer it, you will fail and you will not get your dream and you will not have freedom for your family and you will not have financial independence. And that is the consequence of giving in to shiny object syndrome. And if pain of that reality is not strong enough to stop you from looking around, then you may not be able to do this. That's just the way it is.
And
Not gonna
that's
sugarcoat
the
it.
reason that we started the community is so you guys would have a place to tell people, hey, this is my action plan for this week. Hold me accountable. I'm going to come back at the end of the week and tell you what I've gotten done. Or I'm going to come back and say, hey, I got really distracted and I only got one thing done. And part of this is figuring out what is working and doing more of that. And so I think reflection is really important when you are a person who is easily distracted. Reflect on what you've been doing. Look at those numbers. That's something that's hard for a lot of people in this position. They don't want to look at data. They want to start a bunch of new things. But you have to look back at the old things and say, okay, well, what's working? What's getting me views? What's getting me likes? What's getting me emails? What's getting me sales? That's what you have to do. And sometimes it's hard to do. And you may have to find an accountability partner. You may have to find someone who says, hey, well, I know this all feels really fun, but like what's really moving the needle?
Yeah. And I think it's also important, like, and while we don't ever say, like, if you just follow your passion, everything will work out. Like, what if my passion is taking naps on the beach? It's not going to work out, right? But like, you do have to fall in love with what you're doing. You've got to find a way to fall in love with it. It's one reason we sold our other companies. It's one other reason we shut down some of our websites, because we had to focus on what we love to do. And what we love to do is flip lifestyle. What we love to do is helping other people. We love hearing stories and seeing the changes, and like we had to do that. But I'll tell you right now, for 3 years, man, we loved serving those librarians and those football coaches and making money that way, right? But our love changed a little bit, and that's going to happen. Everything's going to evolve. Everything's going to change. Don't overlook all opportunities. That's not what we're saying here. But for a time, you've got to get focused and you've got to do it. And if you don't, you won't win. I mean, it's just, there's no other easy way for us to say that. Some entrepreneurs and teachers out there we see, like, almost glorify the, like, I hate the term serial entrepreneur. That is a poisonous term. You do not want to be a serial entrepreneur, guys. You want to be a really successful entrepreneur. You want to be so laser focused on one thing for the next 2 to 3 years of your life that you can't help but succeed. And when that thing is so successful that you can sell it or turn your attention to something else, then you get to start another venture, right? But that term serial entrepreneur is such a lie. It is such a myth. Even the people that start all of these other businesses and stuff, if you go back and look at their journey, they did one thing for like 5 years and then they did another thing. Like that's how it works. So, I want to challenge you right now. If you're struggling with shiny object syndrome, if you're struggling with all the ideas, like, you've got to pick one and you've got to commit to it, and you've got to be all in for a year and a half, see if the thing can work. And if you're just not willing to do that, you either don't like the thing you're doing enough, don't love the thing you're doing enough, or you're not disciplined enough, or you don't have enough pain in your life, a catalyst that's pushing you forward. Because without those catalysts and without those passions, you're not going to do anything anyway. So,
And I
look in
just
the mirror.
wanted to say too though that like having 100% focus, it's not going to happen 100% of the
No,
time.
100%.
I mean, no
Wait,
one
100% of the time, 100% focused is not
Okay,
possible.
sorry.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is no one is focused 100% of the time, okay? Even if you're a person who can really get things done, like I consider myself to be a person who can really buckle down and get things done when I need to. But that doesn't mean that I'm always focused. So just give yourself a little bit of room to kind of slack off. If you have one bad day, don't be like, okay, well, this online business thing's not going to work for me because we have bad days all the time still.
You can set up things to handle this too, like some practical tips that I do. One, I send so many emails and I make so much content, like I get distracted by all my ideas, and like I'll start talking to Jocelyn about an idea for an email or an idea for a project or whatever, and she's like, we can't do this right now, we're focus on this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. So what I do is I will email myself. I'll just pull up my phone, email all the things I'm thinking about my idea, and I actually, in the subject line, put ideas, and I'll send it to myself, because writing it down or emailing it to yourself, just getting it, letting it move from your brain into reality, kind of moves it aside. You can even block off times every day to be creative and say, man, I'm just going to sit around and come up with ideas for about an hour or two. I love going and getting in our hot tub and just chilling out. I actually have these waterproof notebooks. No lie. I buy these.
Nerd
This
alert.
is nerd alert. Like I have these waterproof pages. It's called it is the RITE in the rain all weather universal notepad, which I'm showing on the camera right now if you're in the member call. And I take those to, like, just go get in the lake and float around with a life jacket. Go get in the hot tub and just sit there and think. Go sit these ideas down, and that gives me 30 minutes or an hour to kind of like get that shiny object syndrome out of my mind, and then I can go focus on what I need to actually work on. So, you got to get over it. You got to get past it, or you won't win. So we want you to win. So do it.
All right, guys, we have another meeting coming up very shortly, but thank you so much for being here today. If you have not already bought a ticket to Nashville, we have just a handful left. I
I'm
mean,
pretty sure it's less than
single
five.
digits,
Yeah.
yes. So head over to fliplifestyle.com/Nashville, and we would love to see you September 19th through the 21st. If we did not get your question, please put it in the general discussion and I will be happy to come in and comment on it later today.
Yeah, there was a lot of great questions today. We got people from all over the world, and today we got people from the States, we've got people from Canada, Australia, France, Malaysia, just this worldwide community of amazing entrepreneurs. And like we said earlier, just doing so many different and just really making a difference out there. So we love you guys. We're so grateful for our community. So grateful for all of your questions today. We hope that we helped you. We hope you learned something from other people's questions. And we can't wait to see you on the next member call. We will
Check
have that
out
schedule out
the
soon.
new member orientation on Wednesday over in the right hand sidebar of the community. It says new member. Join us for orientation. Even if you're not a new member, check out orientation on Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
All right, guys. Have a great day.